Good afternoon. Welcome to our council meeting on this rainy day. We're so happy to have you. First of all, I'm going to have Kim call the roll, please.
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Quetch.
Here.
Let the record reflect Mr. Webb is not here. Vice Mayor Anderson.
Here.
And Mayor Pillion.
Here. Now I will have Councilmember Wayne Austin lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we need to approve our agenda. I will accept a motion to do so.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Quetch, a second by Mr. Austin. Do we have any discussion? If there's no discussion, can we please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Okay, we have no public comments today, and we don't have any proclamations. We do have a public hearing to talk about this afternoon. It's a public hearing on the proposed issuance of bonds by the town of Abingdon on the proposed issue of bonds, sorry, it says it twice. At one time or from time to time, the estimated maximum amount of the bonds is $8,372,945.98 in the aggregate. The bond proceeds are expected to be used to pay the cost of capital improvements to the town's wastewater system. And so Mike Cochran and Steve Trotman are here to discuss this with us. Do you have any information?
Steve is going to give us a brief update on the
Okay.
possibilities. This is all part of our ongoing sewer project.
Of course, yes, thank you.
Yes. Madam Mayor, council members, yes, y'all may recall you've had several presentations over the last year or so about the I&I upgrades to the wastewater system. There's multiple phases to this project, and most recently, y'all had approved the bid for the construction of this Phase 1 project. Today is the resolution to accept the bond and the financing agreement in order to pay for that. As the mayor just indicated, the total cost of the project is $8,372,945.98. That's the total aggregate amount of any bond. What we're looking for, however, is the VRA, the Virginia Resource Authority, through their water revolving fund, has awarded us, they actually awarded us back in January of 2023 a lesser amount, but our engineers went back to them because the project had gone stale from when it was previously submitted, and VRA approved us for an increase in that amount. So what we're looking for is a principal repayment loan from VRA of $5,023,767.59, and then a DEQ principal forgiveness grant of $3,349,178.39. So those two combined come to the total that we're looking for. The VRA financing agreement is for a 30-year term with 0% interest. And so that would equate to annual payments of $167,458.92. You may also recall that we had our financial advisors, Davenport, go over some of this back in January at your board retreat, at which time we had the rate increase in order to absorb this increased payment.
Is the rate increase going to cover this amount?
Yes, we did the
Okay.
10% increase up front, which gave us more breathing room because of
Okay.
this project plus the other two that we had on the table. Questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Troutman.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing. We do not have anybody who's registered to speak, but if there is someone who would like to speak, we would welcome you to do so at this time. Okay, if there are no further comments, I will close the public hearing. So we will move forward to resolutions. We have a resolution to authorize the issuance and sale of the general obligation bond in an amount not to exceed $53,768 for the town of Abingdon, providing for the form, details, and payment of the bond, and authorizing certain related actions. Do we have a motion to do so?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Quetch, a second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Is there any discussion on this matter? If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Okay. We have no first reading or second reading of ordinances. We do have some bids to consider. I'm going to have Michael Surratt, our Director of Public Works. We are going to consider some bids for the paving contract for the Coombs Recreation Center upper parking lot.
Madam Mayor, council members, thank you. On August 29th, we put out a bid to finish out the paving for the upper section of the Coombs Center parking lot. To complete that project out, hopefully in the next month or so. We had a bid opening on September the 17th with 4 bidders. And if you see in your packet, there is a description of what happened during that bid opening. We had 4 bidders. We did have 1 non-responsive bidder per the Virginia Public Procurement Act that we had to set that bid aside and use the other 3 responsive bidders. The lowest bid we got was $94,913.67 from W&L Construction. It is the staff's recommendation that we accept that bid, as it is much lower than what we anticipated in our estimates for paving and finishing out that project. If you have any
We have
questions.
worked with W&L before.
Oh, yes, we've worked with W&L.
Reputable
Years.
name.
Yep.
Reputable name.
Yes, they are one of our regular bidders for paving year to year.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Mr.
it'll look, how many spots are we gaining? So we got to put the 7 handicap spots directly in front of
Yeah,
it.
we're gaining seven more handicap spots, and potentially, I think there's 3 to 4 more along the angle parking.
Yeah, so it'll really complete the paving we did earlier and come out looking really nice.
So it's gonna add a lot of better movement and parking up there on that upper side of next to the tennis courts and the playground area.
Okay.
It's going to definitely enhance that area.
I've been by there several times, and they seem to be working really hard.
They're pouring curbing today before it rained.
Ah,
So, yeah, they did pour the curbing today, and hopefully,
Awesome.
you know, in the next few weeks, if we accept this bid, we can get the contract executed and get W&L in here, pave it, stripe it, get the new handicapped signage up, and hopefully wrap up the Coombs Center in a timely manner.
Sounds like y'all doing a great job up there.
They're working hard up there, sir.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna pop in and say, you know, not just the outdoor, and I know that you're responsible for the outdoor, but I got a tour of the new indoor facility, and that has always been just a jewel in our crown, but it is really, really coming into its own.
Actually, I was up there a couple weeks ago when they were doing construction, when they had their shutdown, and they were doing some amazing things inside there, and I have not seen it since they got closer to being finished, but from what I understand, it looks amazing inside.
It's just such a wonderful use of space. They changed things around, and when I heard what they were going to do, I'm not good at visualizing those things, but when I saw it, it is going to be just an even better facility.
Yes,
for the
ma'am.
people
I
in
mean,
the
I think
area.
for what we've done to the Coombs Center up there, outside and inside, the Coombs Center is definitely set up for the future, for the next 20, 25 years, for sure.
Well, we appreciate you and all of the other staff that has worked so hard to make that happen. Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept this bid?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
to accept-
second. Excuse me.
To accept the bid of $94,000 to W&L Construction.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion by Mrs. Quetch, a second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Do we have any discussion on this matter today? If we have no discussion, can we please call the roll for a vote?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Thank you so much. We have no new business on the agenda or old business. We do have some communications and business from the town manager, and I don't know if you want to go first, or would you like for me to introduce?
Oh, sure. Basically, what I've been trying to get done is every few months or so, we'll have different department heads present on some of the things they have going on. I see it every day, but y'all helped make it happen. And so the fire department, over the last year and a half, 2 years, we've been working really hard to try and give them the tools necessary in order to help make it happen even more so than they already have been. And so I asked the fire chief to come and present tonight, or today actually, on some of the things that are the outcomes. And as you know, the biggest issue is with fire is, you know, getting it put out as quickly as possible. And he's about to tell you how we made it happen.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor,
Good afternoon.
members of the council, and staff. At the last time I was here was about 13 months ago. We were here about an hour and a half, so today is about 98 minutes, so I won't keep you too long. I'm just kidding. I won't keep you long.
They got our attention, Chief.
Yes, sir. I was just making sure you listen, sir.
You
Yes,
made us
sir.
do some math.
I did.
Yeah.
So that's an hour and a half and 7 minutes, right? 97 minutes. So on the screen, you'll be able to see what the presentation is. Thanks. It's magic. So just a brief overview about what's been going on. The first few slides are pretty quick. You can go to the next slide. This is just our mission statement. I know this presentation is mainly for you, but the public also watches the YouTube. So I want them to know why we're here. And this is why we're here, to make sure that we meet and exceed any expectation that the public has for what our service is. So I want to talk about response time. On July 1st, with our new budget, the town council and administration, who are our biggest supporters really, made a huge improvement in our service delivery. On July 1st, we went to 24-hour shifts, staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because of that, we were able to reduce our response time in town by 14% and in the county by 16%. We have people that are at the station and are able to be on the truck within a minute to a minute and a half and start rolling. And that means we're getting to our calls for service much quicker. We're able to affect whatever we need to do for whatever that call is sooner. We have had several calls. We had one call at a business on East Main Street at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the shift was able to get out, and we got there within just a few minutes and able to put the fire out, because it was a fire, it was an arson fire, and put that fire out and save the business. They're still in operation today. They just had to do a little repair work to their roof. Last week we had a house fire on William Street. Unattended house fire. The folks had moved to another location. They were fixing a house ready to sell. They had some dirty rags in the laundry room that spontaneously combusted, but we were able to be there. It's right behind my house, so I was there within about a minute. And so we had the fire truck there within 4 to 5 minutes and had the fire out in about 6 minutes. Before July 1, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, we had to wait for people to respond to the fire station, which would take about 4 to 5 minutes, and then travel to the fire. So we're able to get on scene faster with effective and efficient people, professional people that know what they're doing, and we're able to put the fires out and save property. Fortunately, we haven't had to do any rescues. That's great. Our public is doing a great job in doing what they should be doing, but this just goes to prove that having people in the station works. And I know that costs money. I know that's an expensive proposition, but this is more than an insurance policy for the town, for the citizens, visitors, and our businesses. This is just a way to make sure we can ensure that they are safe, and that's what we do. And anytime you have questions as we go through, just feel free to ask me. You can go to the next slide. They already did. Yeah, thanks. So if you remember last August, I had a slide that was very similar to this up, and it showed that our call volume, what our call volume was back in 2013, what our call volume is estimated to be in 2023, last year. Because of our change in our fire district, you can see that top blue line, that our call volume has dropped. Our call volume has dropped because our first due fire district was changed, and our call volume is just a little bit less. However, we are still responding to a lot of fires. We responded to 9 fires last month. Fortunately, only 4 of them were fires, 5 of them were not. But we still respond across the town in Washington County in either a first due capacity, which means that we're the first one dispatched, or in a second, third, or fourth due capacity, which means that's where we're dispatched to. So we have been, in August, we went to Gate City Highway, the town of Glade Spring, downtown, almost to the Virginian, and all the way to North Fork River Road on fires to help our neighboring departments. And it's not about who gets there first. It's about being able for us to get there and work together and make sure that we all do what we're supposed to do. And it just so happens because we have staff that's at the station 24 hours a day, we're able to decrease that response time by 4 or 5 minutes. This past Monday, we responded to a house fire, reported house fire next to John Douglas Wayside. I haven't even told Mr. Cochran this one yet, but we went all the way to John Douglas Wayside, and because the volunteers from the other stations have to come to the station, we were able to get there before they did. And again, it's not a race. It's just we're able to respond quicker because we have the staffing. It just goes to show that with your all support, staffing works. It will save property, it will save lives. Fortunately, that fire was just outdoor trash, and passerby just thought it was, the trailer was on fire. Fortunately, it was not. This is just showing the type of calls that we've had. This is the call volume from 2013 up until the 24th of this month. We've responded to nearly 7,000 calls. You can see by the shapes of those little pie sections that rescue and emergency services, that's car crashes. So that's a large portion of what we respond to. False alarms and good intents. Most of our good intent calls are calls that were dispatched to a fire or a fire alarm, and before we get there, we're canceled. So that's the way we have to track that. It's called a good intent call. So between false alarms and motor vehicle crashes, that's what we respond to most. But we still respond to a lot of fires. I guess you want to know about our new truck. Well, this isn't it. That was the 1924 truck. That truck the town bought new. We've owned it for the most of its life. And next month, we will have both that truck and this is the new truck. This is the 2024. It's sitting in Roanoke right now. I'll travel up to Roanoke on Friday to look at it, show them where they have to install some things in Roanoke. We think we'll have this truck probably the first week of October. I told them it had to be here by October 6th because Fire Prevention Week's coming up starting October 7th, and I want it here for the open house because a theme for our open house is, if they will go back a slide, we're going to have this truck sitting out front and the new truck sitting out front, and we're going to show what 100 years of progress looks like. And this 2024 truck, which is 100 years old this year, looks as nice as the 2024 truck. That's a testament to the people that you have working at the fire department, that for decades, and some of them have served for decades, some of them have served over half a century, over 50 years. And they're really proud of what we have, what you all have provided for us. So this is what the truck will look like. It'll look a little different when it gets here. They're moving a couple things around because we wanted some changes, but it'll be here, and that's an investment that the town has made due to unfortunate circumstances. And it's $1 million investment, but the truck will last us 20 years. So if you look at it that way, $50,000 a year is not too bad. But we were very fortunate to be able to get this new truck and get it as quick as we can, especially with the circumstances surrounding why we're getting that. So I mentioned Fire Prevention Week. That's coming up. So I will come back to the council and ask you for a resolution like we always do for Fire Prevention Week. If they would go to the next slide, that's our banner. It's going across Cumming Street. We just took delivery of the banner, and I delivered it to Public Works yesterday. And as you can see, it's a pretty simple banner, but it's got a really strong message right in the middle. Smoke alarms. We want our people, our citizens, our visitors, and our businesses to be safe, be fire safe. It's important that they are. If you can stop the fire before it starts, that makes our job a lot easier. So on October the 12th, we will have an open house at the fire station. I invite all of you to come. Our foundation, the Abington Firefighters Foundation, is a 501c3 organization that supports the fire department. They're going to provide hot dogs and drinks and chips. So we ask you all, if you're able, to come by and visit. If you want to go up and down in the ladder truck, weather permitting, if you want to ride in the bucket of the ladder truck, we'll put you in the truck. We'll take you up 104 feet if you want to. It's fun, it's fun, it's fun, you'll like it.
Is that before or after you
Now that I
serve
shook
the
my
hot
head,
dogs?
he'll make me do it, isn't
Oh, you can,
it? Me showing weakness means he's gonna make me do it, I do believe.
I mean, you can eat the hot dog as you go up if you want to, that's entirely up to you. But that'd be a good culmination of Fire Prevention Week. The best thing that we can do as a fire department is have a strong fire prevention program. To prevent fires keeps us from having to respond to fires. There's a lot of causes of fires, and I'll read you my closing comment and I'll be done, because I am pretty short today. I made sure I'm short today. So the fire department strives to provide a highly efficient and effective emergency service to our community. However, the fire department cannot do this alone. We never have home field advantage. My plea is help us help you. Fire is everyone's fight. We need citizens, visitors, and businesses to be fire safe. Please pay attention to the leading causes of fire: cooking, heating, smoking, electrical, and open flames. Fire is burning hotter and faster than ever before, and the science clearly shows this, and we see it firsthand. Every time we have a fire in a new construction of a house, the materials inside the house burn so much quicker. It used to be that fire would double every minute. Now the fire probably quadruples or even faster every minute because of the materials that you sit in today. Those types of materials, the synthetics, burn so much hotter and so much faster. Even though we are responding to fires and other emergencies faster, sometimes it seems like we're arriving too late. It's imperative that everyone have working smoke and carbon monoxide alarms in their homes. Test them once a month. Have an escape plan for your home and your business. Please don't delay in calling 911 for an emergency. Thankful to Mr. Cochran and Mrs. Rice, we were able to the town purchased 33 AEDs for our public buildings and our police cars. So each patrol car has an AED in it. That's 16 police cars with an AED. There's one in the town hall, one in the fire department, one in the police department. There's one in the Finney building. There's one in Penn Fields, 2 at the Coombs, 2 at the Meadows, 1 at the Little League Field, 1 at Latcher, 1 at the Latcher Park and Rec buildings, 2 at the sewer plant. So every public building that we own, we have an AED in. That's important. But we have to make sure that our employees know and that our citizens and visitors know if they see something and they need to do something, don't try and find somebody, tell somebody. Go ahead and dial 911, it's okay. Get that help started. The AEDs are really, really simple to use. You pick them up, there's a power button, you push the button and follow the instructions. It's really, really simple. Through our fire code inspections, we have identified potential risks and non-compliance in our local properties. I just saw one today that I had to write a notice of violation for because the smoke detector was covered with a piece of plastic, because in the kitchen area of that particular business, the smoke was going up, causing their fire alarm to go off. So that's where I ate lunch, so I waited till I got my lunch and I ate lunch, and then I told them that we need to fix that and address that. And they will. They were super nice about it, and I'll be dropping off the notice of violation here in a little bit. And it's just, it's non-punitive, but it's just a piece of paperwork that shows that we're doing what we're supposed to. And they're going to fix it, and I'm going back either Friday or Monday. I'll go back to that business to help them figure out what we can do to make it better for them so they don't continue to have that issue.
Thank you for doing that, too. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
With your help and continued leadership and guidance, and working collectively with the town's administration, department heads, and other state and local agencies, we can improve and ensure that the town of Abingdon is a fire-safe community. At the end of the day, I want all my employees, all your employees, to go home and be safe. But I want everybody, our visitors, our citizens, and our businesses to be safe, so no one has an issue. So they're able to get up in the morning, go to school, get up and go play, get up and go to work, but at the end of the day, they get to go home. And that's truly is all we want to do. We want to make that easier for them. And that's really all I got. I told you it'd be short. I did good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Yes, sir.
Well, I look forward to seeing you all if you're able on October the 12th.
I think the gentleman behind has a question.
If I may, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just make a quick addendum to Chief Estes.
He had a fire his house, yeah.
goodness. That's terrible.
I'm Michael Henningsen, 18424 Cashmere Court. On July 11th, my wife and I were heading up to bed and heard a loud "Phoom," and looked out the back window and saw a glowing orange in our backyard. Immediately called 911, and we were all able to escape without injury. Pets, children, everybody made it out safely. Within 7 to 10 minutes, both the county and the town of Abingdon arrived and began addressing it. In a little over an hour and a half, they put out the fire. I myself was a first responder in the Navy and with the Marines, and to see such teamwork between the two units was incredibly moving. And the attention to detail for us citizens was just remarkable. One of the young fire captains had spotted a tablet on my nightstand, and she put it under the covers in the hopes to preserve it. I was able to boot it up. With all the historic clothing and articles that we do with our historic program, the fire went up the back wall right by our closet. And the entire attic was destroyed. And I could see the firefighters tearing down the ceiling to try to put out the fire. And I thought, we've lost. We've lost thousands of dollars worth of artifacts and things. And I went up the next morning, and one of my more pricey outfits had 3 little specks of insulation, and it didn't even smell like smoke. We lost almost nothing of our historic property. The house is being rebuilt, so we're estranged at the moment.
Tim, on behalf of Beth and myself, I want to say thank you and publicly recognize
The professionalism of the fire department here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for
I'm
sharing the
glad you
story.
guys were all okay.
And then one thing, if I can just add a little bit to the AEDs we put in. The neat thing with these is he'll be the program administrator, and he's also a paramedic, he doesn't tell nobody. But so the AEDs have a Wi-Fi system, and so they'll actually self-report, so we can monitor the batteries, so we know with that many units, it's hard to tell, was that charged? The last thing you want to do is have to use one and think it needs a charge. So these are set up, these are the nice models, but that way we'll have that knowledge. So particularly what my concern was with like the cold vehicles, like when the police cars and all, if it's cold, will it hurt the batteries in them? And that's why we went the route we did, but we'll know that we have the units are good, because we'll be monitoring it.
And the police department did use one early this morning. Unfortunately, it was not a successful usage, but they were able to they did what they could. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and it is what it is. But I just wanted to say one thing, and I appreciate Mike saying what he did. Y'all know we don't do it for a pat on the back. This is what we do. The 33 feet folks that work for you at the fire department, matter of fact, I'll go on the limb and say all the employees that work for the town of Abingdon do this because they love what they do, they love where they work, they love where they live, and that's why we're here. All my surrounding fire departments and rescue squads that we work with, we have a great relationship with. They can't do it without us, and we obviously can't do it without them, and that's why we work hard, we train together, we work together, and sometimes we get the opportunity to play together. But yeah, this is a great place. Southwest Virginia is awesome. Abingdon is the best place to live, period. I really believe that, and I don't say that because I work here, but I do live here, and when I retire, I'm going to stay here. I want my grandbabies to grow up and do whatever they want to do when they get older, So I appreciate what you all do for us and what you do for the town, and thank you for the opportunity. And again, October the 12th from 10 to 2, open house at the fire station.
I will put
Free
it on
hot
their
dogs,
calendar.
free chips, and free drinks.
Put it on my
3 o'clock?
calendar.
3 o'clock?
10 to 2. If you show up at 3, it'll be over.
You let them hot dogs.
I'll put it on their calendar.
Thank you so much. Do you have more to report today?
That's it, thanks.
Well, I would like to say that we certainly do have the best employees that we could possibly have, and we're so proud. all of our employees, but also especially proud of our fire department and our police department who keep us all so safe. So thank you very much. I know I've had one of those good faith calls when my carbon monoxide detector malfunctioned this January. And even though I called and told him not to come, Chief Estes came anyway and made sure that everything was just fine in my house. And so I'm very grateful for all of you. The next thing we have on the agenda are council member reports. Do we have any reports to make today?
Don't really have anything to make, but I just want to let everybody be aware of the Yeti competition that's going on the Creeper Trail. I think that will start Friday maybe, and it runs for, I think they go up to White Top and back, so that will be Friday, probably Friday evening, all day Saturday, late into Saturday evening, maybe lingering into Sunday. So everyone that's at the head of the trail, just be aware of large crowds there and people lingering, waiting for their runners to come and go.
We'll keep our fingers crossed that they have nice weather.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe it'll be over by Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100 miles, it's a lot.
It's 100 miles, yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing we have on our agenda is, I have one more council member report. There's a new restaurant in town called Twain & Co. I haven't gotten to eat there yet, but I've heard that it's wonderful, so everybody go see Vice Mayor Anderson and check out some good food. He gave us all menus, and I can't wait to try it. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You are very
Thank
welcome. Now we will move on to our appointments to boards and commissions. We have 2 appointments to make today, and this is one of those committees that we have specific entities that have to fill specific slots. So for those of you who have applied, if you don't fit in one of these slots this time, then there are other places that we will put you next time. So the first one we have is to fill the entity representative vacancy for a Historic Sites Museum. And the other point I want to make about that is we have a couple of applicants, but we just have one who actually lives in the town limits of Abingdon. And so when that is the case and we have several applicants, we always try to go for the ones who live in town first. So that applicant is Donna Marie Emmert, so she lives in town. And then we only have one person who applied to fill the representative vacancy for a restaurant, and that is Barbara Karen. So I don't know if we have any more discussion on this, if we would like to make a motion, or if we have anything else to discuss.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint those 2, Barbara Karen and Donna Marie
I'll
to the
second,
tourism.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, can you please call the roll for a vote?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Okay, that completes our agenda for today. Thank you all for a very quick and informative meeting, and we will see you at our next meeting on October the 7th.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.